For those not familiar with the history of scouting or wood badge training, I would like to share some memories of Del Loader and his history. Wood badge is an adult scouter's leadership training that dates back to Lord Robert Baden-Powell, the founder of the worldwide scouting movement. He was a former British Army officer that thought boys could gain value in learning physical, intellectual, social, emotional, and spiritual development. To that end, he wrote Scouting for Boys. It immediately caught on with boys in England and soon became a bestseller that developed into a movement. Because of his military background, Baden-Powell knew these boys needed trained leaders. So, in 1919, he held the first wood badge course in England. It was a small group, but an important one. Baden-Powell wanted to recognize the attendees, so he had a number of hat pins made to hand out to them. The pin was a little bigger than this quarter, and it had bristles sticking out, called a plume, to indicate the wearer's position. And it would have gone about here on the hat. Somehow, Del acquired one of these pins for his collection of scouting memorabilia. Del would always attend the local wood badge courses because he was genuinely interested in the volunteers who attended. Del was the living embodiment of the history of scouting, and he had a great deal of memories and bits of wisdom that he would share with the volunteer leaders at the course. One of the most meaningful but simple presentations that Del would have made at these courses involved that hat pin. He would get the volunteer training staff to form a circle, and then, without much fanfare, he would pass that hat pin around the circle. Then, once the pin completed that journey, Del would begin his story. The importance being that that pin was something that was once held by Lord Robert Baden-Powell. That the seed that grew into scouting that was planted over 100 years ago was still alive and thriving, and that we were all part of that. What we as leaders were doing was important, an honor to be a part of, and almost a sacred responsibility. Those of us who were lucky enough to witness this ceremony were uniquely blessed, something not to be forgotten.